right, welcome everyone to this week's very improvised, very random NIM community call. So as you guys know, there was a Twitter space yesterday with Beam. So that was our more like prestigious and high end event. And for this one, we just thought since there's been some time since the last community call, we just come on and answer any questions and just hang out with you guys. Hux came to crash the party. Initially, I wanted this to just be a pseudo, like a one on
And the
many
community.
pseudo answers community questions. But yeah, he's here, so it is what it is. How's it going, Hux?
Very good. This is actually the case when literally can get rid of me, right? Like you try to get rid of me, you don't even say that there's a community call. I'm like, is there a community call? I can come on. Like, oh yeah, I went to the VMA. So happy to be here. It's been a long time. And I even put on matching shirts with you to have this kind of like very almost twin. We look like twins, except for your beard is here or something. I don't know, like my hair is your beard, so we almost look like very same.
Yeah, almost the exact same. Very hard to tell apart.
From a
Welcome to
distance,
our dear,
long.
very long distance. I mean, from a long enough distance, everybody just looks like a single pixel or something.
Also
So
true.
absolutely true. My T-shirt is well, it's not Nim, and it's not one of the OG T-shirts which Hux is on, but this one is with King Kong in Barcelona, so I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's not a contest anyway. Just good to have you on, man. Um, so yeah,
Nice to be
big thanks
here.
everyone for joining. We are gonna answer your questions, so make sure to leave them in chat. You can also go to, as usual, to the Nim Matrix server and leave your questions on the general chat. We're also keeping an eye there in case you don't want to compromise your privacy and don't want to log in with your YouTube or Twitch account. Otherwise, if you're fine with it, you can just come and leave your questions in the YouTube chat. But first up, we'll do like just a very quick round of updates. Hux, I know that you and a bunch of other team members were at Protocolberg in Berlin. So how did that go? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So yeah, quite a few of us met up in Berlin to go to numerous conferences. It was not just Protocolberg, but there was a 2-day conference. We also Mark Sinclair, our CTO, also presented on the ZK Research Days, and there was a bunch of other smaller events. It has been amazing. Berlin is beautiful during this time of the year, and also the conference program was very nice. Jaya had a very cool presentation. Jaya and Max had a workshop in which Max set up like a gossip protocol chat program running over the mixnet, which is super fun. I think it's still over some GitHub repos. So if anyone wants to try some gossip protocol, it might be there somewhere. Have a look. Yeah, so the event was great. The overall sort of crypto industry sentiment is catching up with reality, with all the sort of legislation happening, but also the EU legislation sort of taking a weird route. So there's a kind of the meta concern or the most discussed topic is that have the industry lost its way? Have we lost our original cypherpunk values? Are we still doing the thing that we said we're gonna do? Are we decentralizing finance, or are we just making more transparent financial instruments for big banks? And kind of that was the big worry. And I think basically what this cries out for is like tangible, actual products that people can use today using this distributed technology to improve our lives. And in that sense, I think NIM VPN is still, or NIM is still one of the only companies who are there with a customer-facing product. And what I wanted to tell you, Sudo, about and our community members about that, we got, even though we didn't have this stand where test out the VPN, it was like a no product shield conference. The Protocolberg is more like academics, philosophy, protocol innovations. It's really like, it's not about wearing the t-shirt and wanting people to buy your product. It's more about just there to exchange ideas, listen to the latest ideas of not just in philosophy but also in technology. And surprisingly, a lot of people came up to us and me personally. Also, like, "Hey, are you part of NIM team?" We had this big, like this big lanyard on our neck, so it was like Hux NIM. And then many people said that they actually really appreciate what we do, and even our onboarding. Some people praised our onboarding, which still needs a bit of work, but I think it's already a good sign that there's Web3 people who actually happy about that we only have the anonymous login with the mnemonics for the VPN. We got a lots of good kind of advice, ideas, how we could improve the offering. So, but there was like a definite unasked for support from the crowd there, which felt amazing, and that's why I kind of want to share with you and the people that there are people who are using the app every day and who are grateful for it, and it's an app that works, and it might need more work to fine-tune and to fix some usability issues, but we're still one of the only companies who are doing actually something that can change an individual's life. And kind of maybe a good tangent to this idea is why I chose the fishies, the background. Or do you want a separate question about this with me? Or can I share why I chose the fishies?
Sorry, you can just go
Yeah,
and
yeah,
ramble. Feel free.
yeah. Rambling through them. So I chose the fish because I kind of had I've been having this feeling since a longer time now that, yeah, as Rocio said in the in the chat somewhere, maybe more down, that kind of with all these conflicts going on around the world and crazy, so like escalating arms situation and sort of a lot of people are dying week by week. It's also using the internet in the surveillance economy. It feels like dark, and you have to protect yourself, and you have to protect your data. And I kind of think that whatever technologies we develop that help individuals be more sovereign or be more private, those technologies should make you feel a little bit more like home, not like getting ready for a war, kind of more like white t-shirt and cozy vibes, right? Like using the name VPN should give you the peace of mind that your metadata is not leaking, and kind of you're as secure as you can be with a can't log no log design, basically. So kind of I think we do need optimistic vibes, especially in these darker times, and kind of remind ourselves that we're here to change the world, but change it in a way that makes us just feel nicer and more human and enable us to connect. So kind of that's and the fishies are having, like, in the background, there's like a predator in the cormorant, right? That's the right bird in the image, I think. So it's
I think it's called something else in English. Well, let me look it up.
maybe it's the yeah, okay. So if anyone knows the name of that bird in English, let us know in the chat. So that there's like a predator bird who dives into the ocean or sea to get to eat fish, basically. So what do fish do in response? They kind of flock cormorant. Thank you. Yeah, okay. So I was right. It's the same bird. Thank you.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. The no T. So the fish kind of blend in, and they don't make like a too much of a fuss about it. But they kind of, what they do is like they group together and they keeping a very simple evasive pattern, basically like a perimeter around the predator again. They just kind of organize into this. It's really hard for the predator to pick one because it's a moving sort of mess of little fishes. And I think that's kind of that was the closest metaphor I could get, to your prompt to choose like a nice background. So I think that, yeah, better, like cozier vibes and more human tech and sort of keeping a peace of mind in these times is important. That's why I'm happy to see all of you in the chat, beyond Anke, Rossio. So nice to have you with us. Without you, we're just two guys talking to each other, without all of you, basically. So, yeah. Was it a long enough rant for you, Sudo, to take some questions, or do you want to have a question?
Almost. But now
I need to
it's
charge.
my turn. Now it's
Yeah,
my
I need to
turn.
grab a
So
charger.
yeah, do that. In the meantime, I will mention that this bird called the cormorant is special because it's diving very deep, unlike basically any other bird, I think. Yet, even though it swims so deep in the water, it doesn't have the what's it called? Doesn't have the type of like fat that other birds have and put on their feathers so that they are waterproof. Like ducks are, for example, waterproof. You can see the water coming off of them. This bird doesn't have it, so it actually has to go on the rocks by the sea and like spread its wings out and dry after it dives. Anyways, fun fact. Well, a bit of change in topic, so we're not going to talk too much about like any news updates or whatever it may be. But guys, just if you haven't seen, make sure to check out the new release of NVPN, which is 2025 10. The more fun name of it is Watermelon. So this release is fixing a whole bunch of issues within VPN, and especially if you had problems on Android, make sure to check out the changelog. I'm going to leave a link in the chat for the blog post. You can download the app from the usual places. So on Android, that's on F-Droid. That's in the Play Store. Also from GitHub, from our GitHub, and Yeah, I think that's it. And for the rest of the releases, you can just use the download page of the website. So there's a whole bunch of issues being fixed. We will of course continue to fix especially the more like game breaking bugs, and from there like implement new features and quality of life changes and all of that good stuff. It would mean the world to me if you could get back to me, especially if you had issues on Android, and let me know if those have been fixed. That would be great. And yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy the new release. And then, wait, what else do I have for you, Hux? I don't have anything for you. So should we just jump into the questions, or do you want to ramble a bit more?
Yeah. Now there's some good questions around the event. I've seen some from Rossio about
Wait a second.
yeah, how was the
This
cypherpunk
one?
vibes? What uh-huh. Yeah. So I thought that's related to the my previous rant, so I can go into that a bit more. So generally there's a feeling that the industry has swayed away, maybe, chasing too much the money part of the technology and less the value part of the technology. So at least that's like a shared understanding. And even though there's not like it's not really action oriented or solutions, one thing that's definitely there and wasn't there before, and there was some community members who also participated in this event. Mikola runs the Web3 Privacy Now hackathon, and it was like a 3 days long hackathon with a nice little party in the end. And Max, our lead dev, was there as a mentor, and it was so funny because to mentor on a hackathon, it's kind of you can do it different ways, right? You can just not really care and go there and wake up late and kind of. But Max was the vibes were so nice, and the hacking and so many teams were working on so many nice ideas on this hackathon that Max actually woke up earlier than me every day. We stayed in the same room, and like I'm gonna go and I have to mentor these teams, and he was really excited about the whole event. And then I wasn't there on those days, so I actually, when I went on the last day, I saw that it was a kind of like this the reimagination of what does it mean to be cypherpunk, or the contemporary cypherpunk, let's say. So it's not really about dark hoodies and masks in crowds, like not the V for Vendetta aesthetics, or not like this very sort of anti-establishment rebel. It's more about building tech that serves humans and enable us to keep our data private, just communicate between each other without having to worry about being surveyed or observed or analyzed in a way. So funnily enough, it was like volunteer-based event, and in the party there was no doormans. So actually, we were asked with Max to be the doormans of the party to check the people's vibes. Like it was a free event, but you had to register. So some people came without registering, and then we were really nice doorman because we let everyone in. Everyone was nice who came, and it was like this nicest. It felt really like there's a shared understanding in these people that it's a different era now. We're way past beyond rebelling against something and then kind of being this in the dark, hiding, kind of like this from the memetic corner. It feels like we're breaking out, and it feels like that cypherpunk really means, based on these events and people I've seen, something different now. It's just building tech that serves humans and not algorithms and not the capitalist machine. And I think I only remember one. Unfortunately, the teams who've been hacking on NIM didn't win any prize, I think, but there was teams hacking on NIM, and there was fantastic community members from our community on the event. The team who won simply built a private wallet connect version, so like a multi-wallet login, which is actually privacy preserving, and that's really, again, a very good demonstration of what we need.
Is that not what Beyond's next question is about? Maybe this one, I'm putting it on screen. So has anyone already
Uh-huh.
participated in the development of the new NIM Connect? Not sure.
Uh, I'm not really sure if I understand your question. If your question is, have anyone any teams been hacking on the NIM stack, then that's a yes. Unfortunately, I didn't ask details enough. I don't remember what they were building or what they were trying to build. I don't really know if anyone's hacking a new version of NIM Connect. I know about the chat app, which we had an NSI grant for, right? So there's a chat app proof of concept. So the question is rather, would people want to use the Mixnet for simple chat apps? So I think that's a good question, because there's so many chat apps, and it's so much about convenience and utility. And we're on Telegram because everyone's on Telegram, right? We're on Twitter because it's kind of like, it's really hard to build audience, but maybe I mean, let me know in the chat, what do you think? Should we really lean in on and look into kind of, if, of course, the communities help develop a chat app? Would you use a NIM mixnet based chat app?
I mean, that's a
I think
really timely question, because ZM,
yeah.
the developer of the NIM chat, has teamed up with Hans, one of the OG community members of NIM, and they proposed taking it actually to full production, so releasing NIM chat on different operating systems. So that would be pretty cool. It will be one of the larger projects that NSL ever supported. You can find the proposal on the forum. If you have any ideas, maybe we could take the conversation there. I will say that it's really like enticing to have a chat application that has the privacy properties of the mixnet. Obviously, chat is one of the most like self-explanatory use cases of something like the mixnet. But like Huck said, it's always a big question whether you can apps like WhatsApp or Telegram or the big ones have such like a head start in UX and especially the network effect. So many people are using them that it's very hard now in such a saturated market. We have Simplex, which is also great. We have Session, which is also great. Check out the previous community call with their team. They have a truly excellent chat application and a really awesome team and very good philosophy. Yet it's just they have quite a few users as well, but it's quite the challenge to gain users in this like saturated market. So that's actually an interesting question.
Actually, Rocio is answering Beyond's question in the chat. So happy to have you all with us here. It's Rocio is saying that just reminding me that Max was mentoring Eric Valle, our NIM ambassador from Mexico, and according to her, they've been hacking on the NIM Connect. So that's actually, yes, that's been happening, and maybe chat up Eric to see where they invented it. And actually, maybe it would be nice to know what was the feedback and kind of what scoring they got. So we may just Max is still in Berlin, so he's still on the ground going to the Berlin Blockchain Week is for 2 weeks. So there's still events this week. It's still full on. It was 170 different events for 2 weeks, and it's still going on. So as soon as he's back, maybe we can get a rundown on or talk about the NIM Connect, Eric's experience on trying to develop on the NIM Connect. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully he's not going to all the 170. He's not going to all the 170 events.
No.
Now, so as for NIM Connect, guys, for those of you who are new, you may not even know what NIM Connect is because it's been a while since we released NIM Connect. This is one of the first sort of proof of concept use cases, a very simple application for the NIM Mixnet. It was SOX 5 based, like a SOX 5 proxy based tool, which you could like privacy enhance specific applications with, such as Telegram, such as various wallets. Such as even I believe which Monero wallet was integrated into that. I can't remember. But anyways, it was one of the first like proof of concept use cases, and it's still very much to this day would be something that's interesting, right? So if you have one specific application to route through the mixnet, and you just implement a SOX 5 based this is just for a SOX 5 based tool to exist that can route apps through the mixnet would be nice. So actually we may put out an NSL grant to revive NIM Connect. Thanks for the question.
Yeah,
Beyond.
and basically that NIM Connect was the beginning of NIM VPN, because that's what the predecessor of the VPN app. And the VPN is taking it step forward in terms of opening it more up, making it easier to use, and making it compatible with all the application, or like open internet, basically. So that's a big upgrade from the specific application, specific SOX 5 kind of routing. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the question, Beyond. Next up is a good one, but let's keep it quick because there are a bunch of other questions that I really want to answer in depth in the chat. Thanks for the great questions, guys, so far. So also from Beyond, how would the mixnet look like as a superhero? Good question. I don't know. What would it look like, Beyond, or actually community? I extend the question to you. What would the mixnet look like? We did with Hux. We did back when it was early ChatGPT times, I think it barely got like
Dolly.
a
It was Dolly.
multimodal support. Was it Dolly? Yeah, we did some image. Maybe we could somehow we put them on a Miro board, right? I think I have vague memories. So maybe you could find the images if you still like have them. We tried to like generate some images. Um, the problem with so everything privacy always, if you explain what NIM is or the mixnet is to an AI model, it always defaults to the same things. So it's either like a person with no face and this specific hat, and then question marks around the person or something like that, or it's a chameleon, or something like that. So it's sort of the visual representations of privacy, because it's not something, it's the lack of something, right? If you have privacy, then it's not something there, but something is not there, right? The person is not there. So it always ends up as the same thing. But maybe you have some better ideas. Wait a second. Let's see if we have no comments on this so far. But if you have a design for the mixed and superhero, let us know.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a tough
Thanks
one.
for the.
Can I also like try to
Yeah, of course. Go go go.
yeah give so it's a tough one because what you're saying is absolutely right, and it's always this, uh kind of this hero that empowers you to disappear, this magician or this hacker or this like it's very. But I do think that we need to find a better superhero, and I think it's like I'm more thinking that privacy, as I started rambling about this too, like privacy should feel like being together without having to worry, So it's like maybe framing it around togetherness in peace of mind and peace of mind. That would be what kind of superhero helps people get together? I don't know. Superheroes are kind of this one shot guys, no, and ladies, like kind of it's very.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I don't know
very.
if super. I don't know if superhero is the right thing, because
Mm-hmm.
superheroes are not very together unless it's the Avengers, when it's like a bunch of very strong
Yeah,
personalities being very top together. So I don't know. It's and the togetherness superheroes are always the lamest. Aquaman. He's probably the
true.
lamest
Yeah.
superhero, right? Like, with the fish and the dolphins and whatever. It's not very um I wouldn't want the Mixnet to be Aquaman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could
Maybe
be
it's not one
Rorschach
superhero, but
though,
hmm or
from
maybe it's not one
what's it called?
superhero, but it's yeah.
From
That was a
Watchmen.
Marvel, no? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Watchmen,
Mu- it's
Marvel.
it's from Watchmen. It could be Rorschach.
Oh.
I like him a lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah. So maybe it's not a singular superhero, but it's something that we collectively do, like something that we kind of like, decide to do together in order to be just. Yeah. So it's maybe not a single superhero, but it's something. It's a superhero in every one of us in a way, or like what we have to cultivate in terms of values and
Mhm.
how we should think about these things. Like as in being private versus using Web2 platforms where you just bleed all your data and kind of being datafied in the process. So yeah, it's a tough one. Good question.
All right. So
Let's move
next
on.
up, this is gonna be
Wait, no.
this. I'm happy to be. I'm happy if you're here to think about these things with me, Hugs. But there are a bunch of related questions, and I'm gonna have to like ask all of them at the same time, because it's like one big area. So first is Beyond's question. What will be the main focus of NSL in the next 6 to 12 months? And then we also have also from Beyond, whether there are any plans for hackathons for developers, yeah, within the framework of privacy and the mixnet. And then we also have a longer question from Uncle Lem, which is I'm going to show like parts of it. Basically, just to summarize his question, is that there's a lot of stuff going on, and people are kind of noticing that I'm busy. I will say more about that in a bit. And he's asking if someone from the CM team or maybe in the community could step up, and do more in the NSL related stuff, so things are better in hand, and nothing like not everything has to just rely on sudo. So that's basically the gist of his question, and I will answer all of these three. So what happens with NSL, or like what is the main focus of NSL for the next 6 to 12 months? Whether there's going to be a hackathon, and also whether we could share responsibilities a bit more, so that what we already have it works a bit more smoothly. So let's start with the last part, actually, Uncle Lem's question. So there's a lot of people, especially who are very involved in the community, may have noticed that I am like way more busy than usual, and this is because I'm getting some new responsibilities which I didn't have before. So this is like there's already quite a lot of stuff to do when it comes to community related things, and now on top of that, I'm doing some other things as well. So this is not going to be as bad as it is right now, because I'm still in like a learning phase. This is like more intense than once I'm already in the saddle will be. But definitely, I will not have the type of time and just like mind space to be as on the ground with everything that I've been doing so far. So what you're describing, Uncle Em, is already happening in various ways. So basically, one of the things that's happening, as you guys know, we kicked off the NSL Council recently. So this is about not Salazar and I doing all the decision making. We're just human, we're biased. We could like make mistakes, right? So we involve a lot more eyes from the NIM team, from a lot more different like professions, right? So there are developers. There's also the type of attention like Jaya's and Alexi's and some other folks, and we make decisions, like all decisions, when it comes to like supporting an initiative or not, or when it comes to deciding reward amounts and all of that good stuff. We make those decisions together now. So that's one way of sort of making things a bit quicker. And also Sal, who's right here with us, by the way, in the background, he's basically everywhere, and he's also managing this stream with me. We'll be stepping up to a bunch of responsibilities that we've been doing together for the most part up to this point. He's going to be doing on his own with my supervision going forward. This again is a transition process, so appreciate the patience, everybody. But yes, there will be definitely a sharing of responsibilities, and I don't have anything concrete yet to say, but as you saw, we just released NIPS, and we are taking steps towards further decentralization, and I'm definitely thinking about ways of meaningfully involving the community as well in NSL related things. Now a bit more back to Beyond's first question, which was what will be the focus of NSL be over the next 6 to 12 months. This is like, of course, closely related. So we want to double down on the things that we're already doing and that works. So guys, I just want to point out that we have NIM VPN and the NIM website and even the help center and everything localized to a whole bunch of languages. They're being released like incrementally, but the translations for the most part are done. This is a huge achievement, and this is down almost exclusively to our community, or at the very least, in some cases, our community team. So community managers are responsible for this. This is a big achievement, and I'm really proud of this. This really works, and it's absolutely excellent. There's also, of course, a really big chunk of our community channels being managed by community members, which is also something fairly new, and it's also working really well. And I think it's more honest than having CMs everywhere. So it's like a really great way to involve the community and stuff. We want to make sure that this continues happening. So that's one aspect that will happen. So we will double down on the things that already work and that the community is already involved in. Now, beyond that, no pun intended. Beyond that, we also want to double down on the NSL Council. This is something new, so we still have to like get into the groove of making decisions together and making sure that all the processes that are related to this are smooth. So that's in progress. But basically, we want first NIM team members, and then later on, of course, also community members making these decisions together. So this will be it. I'm continually looking for ways to expand NSL to development as well, and this is where your question about hackathons comes in. So the situation right now at NIM is that, as you know, we do have SDKs which devs can use to build the mixnet into various things, but they are not in a great shape right now because the focus of NIM, of the whole team, was shifted towards releasing NIM VPN, which is now out, right? But now it's a matter of fixing all the problems and getting it there so that it's ready for real, true mass adoption. right? Now, after that, of course, the SDKs, as mentioned by Max recently, the aforementioned Max, who's our head of developer relations, will continue. So the work on the SDKs will continue, but that's not going to be like in the very near future, in like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. That will take quite a few months more. So right now we will have to do the things within NSL that we've already been doing. And while people can build things, so there are things that have been built under the NSL framework, they are not real use cases of the mixnet thus far, right? Except for NimChat. They are mostly supporting tooling such as Nimesis, our beautiful node operator tooling for reward information and basically explorer functionality, and a bunch of others, right? And also fully unrelated but still NIM related things, which are not related directly to the mixnet, but they help the community in some way, such as Beyond's project, NimHub, right? So while these are happening, I'm really looking forward to the new SDKs, like work on the SDKs happening, and being able to commission projects, or just enable developers to build really cool use cases of the Mixed and the NIM network. So that will happen within the next 6 to 12 months, and I'm really excited about that. And once the SDKs are done, that is when the first official NIM hackathon will happen. This is something that I've been like asking questions about ever since I joined NIM back like over 3 years ago. So rest assured, this is a very much top of mind. Okay, so whenever we can do a hackathon, the hackathon will happen. So that's a promise from me. Sorry for the long rant, guys. I just wanted to address these really, really good questions about NSL and the community and what's been going on. So hopefully that's a good enough answer. If you have any follow-ups, then let me know. And sorry, Hux, for having you sit through that long rant.
No, not at all. I've been checking the chat in the meantime, and yeah, we can take another one, no?
Absolutely. So hackathon question was addressed by Beyond. Thanks for the great questions, by the way, Beyond and Uncle. And then
A bunch of on
wait a
Explorer
second.
from Anka.
Explorer? Where is it?
And it's also good.
Yeah. So okay, this one is from Beyond. Another question also related to NSL. So let's address it all in one go. I remember a long time ago, NIM gave a grant to Daniel before NSL for him to conduct training events at universities in Spain on privacy. Are there any results, or did NIM abandon this idea? Actually, that's a good question. We have. You can check a proposal that we got from our Spanish squad from Spain, which is about Delcidium. It's a very exciting proposal, but I'm not sure what happened with the university idea. So you may have to ask Daniel directly about that one. Do you know, Hux? Have you heard about this
No,
one?
it's not Nim Daniel, no? It's another Daniel.
I think it
I'm
is
not
Nim.
sure.
It is Nim Daniel.
Yeah, but Daniel is not getting grants from NIM. He's a member of the core team, right? So he's for sure didn't get a grant to do university promotions. Maybe it was just no.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I understand Beyond's question correctly, before he joined NIM, maybe this is how it started. I'm not
Oh,
sure. I have never heard of this, and this was definitely not an NSL grant, because, like
no,
Beyond
but it was
says,
super long
NSL did
time
not
ago.
exist at the time. Yeah,
Yep.
not sure about
Yeah.
this one, Beyond. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Uh,
Wait a
but I think
second.
that by the way, to answer the question, I think it's always a good idea. I think universities are the platforms where actual change in thinking and values can happen, right? So if anywhere it makes sense to educate people about new cool privacy technology is universities, because people are more flexible, they're more open, they look for the new thing, they're also hungry. They haven't yet been indoctrinated into different thinking schools of thinking, or not been kind of shaped into a cubicle to think like capitalist. I don't know, like kind of like not being productified into big corporations. So university students, technical university students, and or even philosophy, I think that's the best place to actually recruit allies to our mission here, because that's where the spirit of change, or that's where you really can actually change things. Yeah.
Thanks for the question. Thanks for the answer, Hux. And next one is for you. But before I share it,
Yeah.
actually, I need to drop something else in chat. Sorry for the interlude. Ladies and gentlemen, check the chat on YouTube. We dropped something that we promised for this call, but actually didn't happen. So now it's happening. You can suggest my next background for the next community call, and if I can, if the next guest's device supports like fake background like this one, I'm also going to be forcing them to use the same. So you can post your ideas in the forum thread, and the one that gets the most upvotes, the most hearts, will end up as my background. Hopefully, you're not going to choose something very nasty for me. That would not be nice, but it can be funny. You know, this is a grave responsibility.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
yeah. All right.
Beyond
So
Beyond in the meantime clarified who he means. It's not Nim Daniel, it's
yeah.
Daniel JD Carecedo. And I'm not sure what up with him. I haven't talked to him in a long while. He kind of I don't recall when the last time was when I spoke with him. Do you know Sudo? JD Daniel. David, sorry.
Yeah. Of
Daniel
course.
David.
Yeah, he's called Jose David.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
he's a close friend. I mean, we're not as closely in touch as we used to be. Don't want to share. It's kind of like private reasons on his part. Why? So I don't want to share it publicly. But of course, we're still in touch and speak every once in a while. Not sure. I can't remember him getting a grant for university stuff beyond. That was not under my purview. So I don't
I recall
don't know about it.
maybe a proposal he put up, but I don't think either. Maybe he never get the grant because it wasn't fleshed out enough or something. So I recall vaguely something. It was around 2 years ago, first no, this last shipyard maybe. Yeah. So there was talks about this, but I don't think it ever started this project or got a grant, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like a million years ago, the previous shipyard.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Jose David, if you're watching this, much
We love
love.
you.
Do reach out
We hope you're
and
doing
let's hang
good.
out. Yep. We hope you're doing great. All right. Next up is from Rocio, and this one is for you, Hux, as I promised. So, Hux, as a UX expert, what is your recommendation for hackers that participate in events like the Web3 Privacy Now hackathon to build an awesome MVP?
Yeah, so I think that on this hackathon there was even a separate track called onboarding, which might have not gotten enough love because people have a hard time knowing what or understanding the onboarding is. I think first and foremost, whatever anyone hacks needs to tackle, the realer world problem your solution tackles, the better the solution is. So for example, I think we're still at a point where we're still creating solutions only for a small niche, like even the winner is like the more private wallet connect login solution. It's also just a better replacement of an existing product for Web3 audiences, right? If I can give one advice, like think about the ways of how you can sort of onboard people using a new app, or it can be an MVPN, it can be a wallet gated forum, so anything which gives more sovereignty and more privacy for the people, but how actually you can show new people who haven't used that before that it's valuable for them, right? So like a small, and we also have some ideas in mind that we might gonna implement on our website, for example, like privacy checker, ticking off how private your connection is, and if it's not private enough, then you have a direct evidence of like, oh wow, like I'm not private enough, so I can do these steps to be more private with my connection. But any new idea that educates and educates people on using novel tech, privacy tech, for example, I think that's the key here, because we're sort of, the problem is with innovative technology and privacy technology too, that it's really quite complicated. And if you're not a programmer, you have hard time using command line interface. So it kind of has to be like a very human process and a very user-centric process of how you can actually educate people that, hey, here's this cool product. It's just a little bit different or difficult to use, but because of this, we teach you how. So kind of I think it's now we sort of, it feels like we have all the tech we need. I mean, there still need to develop better technologies and better privacy preserving stuff, of course, but we have so many cool technological solutions and very little human solutions. So how we make these technologies accessible and how we not roll on this burden of having to educate people on things that they don't really care about. Like, why do I need to know what's a public private key pair generated, in my wallet? I mean, users not necessarily have to know that. Maybe they're gonna learn that once they understand why it's a lot better for them, that they have their money on chain, for example. So not sure if it's a fake news. So correct me if you think it's fake news, but I read on Twitter yesterday that Iran's central bank has been hacked and deleted the whole database. Even if they had backups, that's like, even if you lose just 2 days of transactions, that's not cool. Or if you lose all, it's like kind of money lost. So I'm not saying to
I
hack,
don't know.
yeah, maybe fake news, but that's like that's like a too late wake up call to something that has been a vulnerability. If you keep your money on centralized databases at banks, then this can actually happen. So how do we tell this story differently, and how do we provide the tools when telling this story too? So why use blockchain, and why have your savings? Different aspects come in, because also, I guess, all of you guys seen the news from France, I think from different countries too. The France comes in mind when America, people kidnap wealthy crypto traders and put them into vans until they sort of give them their thumb and their,
Wrench attacks.
yeah. So ranch attacks, exactly.
Yep.
So that other things come in, but all in all, I think there's new tech that not enough people know about, not enough people know what the value is in it, and not enough people use. And there's a lot of people, like future users, who would be interested if they would know what's the real value and how easy it is in some cases to use. So I would definitely not go, if I'm giving advice, do not hack further the tech stuff, hack the human stuff into the tech stuff, because we have so much good tech already out there. Yeah, that's the very long answer.
All right. In the meantime, I checked. There are already some suggestions in the forum post. Maybe we can, at the end of the call, we can go over the background
Yeah.
suggestions that
Give us more background solution.
we could have.
Yeah, but give us more.
Yes.
You can
Yes. Good.
submit more.
Good ones. Good ones so far. All right, ladies and gents. Thanks for the question, Rocio. Hopefully that was enough words for you as an answer. Next up is from Uncle Lem. So, also, according to the fact, with bugs and Chinese-Russian question being still there, and half of the summer is past, can we say that huge marketing that huge marketing and stuff had been planned for summer is delayed? Okay, so in translation, there are still censorship issues in Russia and China when it comes to NVPN, and Uncle Lem is asking whether the plans that Harry spoke about in our Telegram chat, in our general Telegram chat, are like postponed about like marketing pushes in China, or what is happening there. There's a bit of a misunderstanding here. So actually, the marketing push that we're doing in China, which actually is ongoing, is not about NIM VPN as much as it is about NIM the project for crypto audiences, and also NIM the token for crypto audiences, specifically because of the censorship issues that we and other VPNs are seeing. So of course, these are not very separate things, because once NIM VPN becomes the most censorship resistant VPN out there, which is our stated goal, right? Then of course it's going to have much more appeal in China. So there will be an audience that already knows NIM and knows about us. So that marketing push is very much happening. So yeah, it's just not about NIM VPN at this time. So. Yeah, by the way, on that note, let me find a blog post for you, which is about our censorship resistance roadmap.
Yeah, but until I can maybe add this other point. I'm not sure if you.
Yep, go ahead.
Maybe I just zoomed out and you mentioned it. Sorry if that's the case. So I think that with every new innovative product, there is a longer testing period and longer sort of like early access kind of release of when we test and get feedback and iterate and fine tune. I think that I think there's some stability issues that if you imagine these big massive marketing banners all over the internet, I think it's better to hash out and to fix some fundamental issues that gonna help a lot of other people to use the app, flawlessly and without that much bugs or without that much clicking around. And I'm not promising or saying anything, only that if there's a few UX blockers still, if we get out of the way from the actual experience of the VPN, any marketing push or any big push will have multiple X effects. If there's a lot of things cooking, I cannot really spoil what's coming, but you're gonna see results or changes very soon here and there on the front ends in the app, in a way that we have a lot in store that many of us have been working super hard on the past month. And I think just with the sort of smaller fixes, but fixes that enable consistent user experience, we're gonna have a mature enough service that we can actually worth promoting and pushing the insane marketing trumpets all over the internet.
All right. Man, we have so many good questions
Yeah,
still. We need to like shorten
shorters.
our
Yeah,
responses.
yeah.
I wanna pick up a question from someone who hasn't commented in a while on NIM community calls. Welcome back, Sarkon. It's nice to see you. What do you guys think about NIM, as in the token? Yeah, so obviously Sarkon and I and the broader community have discussed the NIM token quite a bit, and now this is, since it's a more of a private call and it's not public at all, so we can be very honest about our opinions. Well, it's not very great to see, the token dropping like to all-time low after all-time low. Obviously, this is not something I am personally very happy about. I really hope that I hope a couple of things will happen. One is that an old season will still happen. If it does, then NIM has really strong fundamentals to benefit from that. I really hope that the people who say that there's not going to be an alt season this time are wrong about that. That's one thing. I really hope that the changes that we're proposing now for a more equitable reward distribution and a bunch of other. You guys saw the AMA with Claudia, so I'm not going to go into the details too far. I did upload the recording to our YouTube channel, by the way. So if you missed the AMA, Uncle, I'm looking at you because you said in chat that you missed it. You can watch it. It's on our YouTube channel. But yeah, so the more equitable distribution of rewards, and also making sure that that it doesn't concentrate in just a few hands, but all of our operators are getting like a more fair share of rewards, and just in general, like how many tokens the system is putting out on the market. The changes to that will actually solve like the oversupply problem. I'm really hopeful that will happen. I also really hope that we do end up hitting that 100 by the end of the year for an MVPN, which would be like a pretty significant structural buy pressure on the buy side on NIM. And the last thing, it's a half a thing that I hope is that these things, at least some of them, will happen simultaneously, and they will like supercharge each other. I'm really it's been like a few years since the NIM token launched, and I really hope that we will see all of those people who invested initially into NIM, and believed us from the get-go, will actually get their fair rewards for that trust. Ultimately, though, I personally don't measure the success of NIM in the success of NIM tokens. So the NIM, the project, is bigger than just a token, but obviously it's a very important part of our ecosystem, and I would be much happier if it performed better. So here's hoping that will happen, and that partially comes down to the success of NIM VPN, but also a bunch of other things. So yeah, we're pushing towards that, and just know, guys, that we don't ignore the token, or we don't. It's not something that we don't care about at all. We do care about it. It's just yeah, it is what it is for the time being.
Also, the alt season haven't really kicked in yet, so the whole industry kind of, except for BTC and some, American president-friendly coins, are doing similar in a way in trends. We also have very strong support. So, Harry, there was some discussion in the Telegram chat recently. I think Harry gave some infos about this, but basically, bottom line is that I think we have a very solid support, and there's zero paper hands left. So everyone's who are still here and holding this, that's kind of that's kind of the resistance that the token price is seeing now. And honestly, if the models are right, the product gets more users, as you say, and there's nowhere else just to go up basically with this. Our job is to make sure that the product actually is useful for people, and then people pay for the product continuously. So this is how we can make the token successful as well.
Yeah. Very quick last word on this. All a project can do without manipulating token price, which is something that we don't do. It does happen on the market and does happen with other projects. We don't roll like that, so we're not going to manipulate the token price. But what we can do and what we have done is to put in place structural forces, which hopefully then end up like supporting the token price. Those forces are already in play. A big dependence they have is actually on NBPN subscriptions. It takes time to play out, but that's something that the team did think about and already implemented. So fingers crossed that it will take effect soon. Thanks for the question, Sircon, and it's nice to see you back. All right, next up is from Uncle M, another longer question. So I've missed the AMA with Claudia, but read the document and have a suggestion to Hux, I believe, since he's on Explorer, which is true. What do you think about adding an automated feature to clearly distinguish between oversaturated nodes and those that haven't reached saturation yet? This way we could prevent nodes from being filled beyond the desired level from the very start. What's your take on this, Hux?
So first, have a look at the previous community call, because Claudia is explaining well the upcoming changes, and there's so many things that this is a big thing for us, and we're working on this constantly and thinking about this. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but recent Explorer, so the current Explorer app has already recommended nodes tab. So this is also with the same idea. We're basically trying to make it easier for stakers to find nodes that we want them to stake on, who are not oversaturated. If you have any concrete idea that we can implement, maybe it's a badge, maybe we already have the over 100% saturation and the beyond, I think 30% or 25% saturation with like dark red color, showing that don't stake more here. But if you have any idea how to recommend or kind of how to make people understand visually or via the tool that these nodes are the ones that they should stake on, we're always open, and please send me directly even your suggestions. We're constantly thinking about this, and yeah, that's on the UI and the Explorer itself. But there's been, again, a lot of discussions on how to actually improve the system in a way that we don't have as many oversaturated nodes, and maybe not stake saturation is maybe not as strong of a driver in terms of active set selection as, for example, node performance or uptime. But I think that the previous community call with Claudia has a lot more information on this, and I don't really want to kind of butcher things with a short answer here. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. It's an AMA, by the way, and it was. I just realized that I shared it unlisted, so you can find a link to it in the operator chat on our matrix. But I will actually make it listed and drop a link to it after this call on Telegram, so that you can find the AMA recording. Thanks for the question. Next up, this is a quick one. Sneaky question. Who did not like the verifier idea? Because the verifier could still very much happen, okay? So nothing has been decided there. I just need to discuss it with the NSL Council. And I can't share who didn't like it, okay? Sorry
Yeah,
about
but
that.
we can share that. Basically, I think, and we talked about this, Lam, in a chat too. I think what's important to figure out is how. I think what's not sufficiently figured out yet, the same things I asked in the chat, is that kind of how we make sure that this is not a honeypot list that someone's compiling this whole database of social handlers. B, how do we make sure that the updates or the data that gets into this structure is good in the first place? So how do you trust whoever is filling this up? Basically, that's kind of, if I know that there are some answers for this, but I think that these are basically the main questions I had when you show me the stuff. But yeah, if you can hash this out, maybe it's better for everyone to understand how we can tackle this. Yeah.
Yes, thanks for the question. Next up is, wait a second, we have to be selective now because
So,
we're
like,
almost at time and I have a meeting
yeah,
after this, which I
we
have to go to.
really got into it, no? Like it got
Yeah.
rolling. Like, so yeah, matcha or coffee,
Yes, we have
beer or wine.
a lot of great
Let's do those.
questions.
Let's do the small ones. Sudo, matcha or coffee?
Okay, matcha or coffee? I actually like matcha, but I'm a coffee person, so
Massive coffee person here.
so yeah, it
Yeah.
has to be coffee for me.
If I'm in
Yeah.
Latin America, though, I drink mate, like good mate, happy time anyway, but coffee in Europe for sure. Beer or wine, Sudo?
Yeah. Beer or wine? I'm in the process of transitioning to wine, but I'm still a beer person for the time being.
I'm kind of occasion driven. I'm not so big on any of these, but if it's like a pub scenario with a football game, soccer game playing, then it's beer. If it's more like a dinner scenario, then maybe one glass of wine, like a nice dry white wine.
Yes.
NIM VPN, traditional VPN, Sudo. That's a tricky question. Like, don't fall into the trap.
Obviously traditional
Obviously, NIM
VPN or naked connection. Oh, sorry, wait, this is a public call. No, it's NIM VPN. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, NIM VPN.
Obviously, NIM VPN. Yeah.
I'm just really bummed out about some of the issues that I've been having on Windows, but actually the new release fixed those for me. So I'm really a happy camper with the Watermelon release. So now I'm back to NIM VPN. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, good question from Rocio, and this one is for you, Salazar. So maybe you can answer it here in our private chat, and I can relay the answer. So, who wins an VPN subscriptions from yesterday? Oh no, actually, this is maybe a Theo question. Oh yeah. This is gonna be a Theo question. So actually, I'm gonna take it back to Theo and let you know, Rocio. So basically, I think 10 free VPN subscriptions were offered for the Twitter space yesterday with Beam. So yeah, we have to still distribute those. All right, and with that, I think we're up against the end of this call. Hux, do you have any closing remarks, or maybe like a quick question that you want to address?
No, just happy to be here. It was a fun session. Thanks, Sudo, for letting me join and be your partner in crime on this AMA. It was fun. I love the background selection idea. Maybe I should look at the forum and check the background thing, or that's gonna be ongoing for next week, or what do you want to choose?
Oh yeah,
now?
actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so sharing my screen. Wait a second. So.
And we're gonna have to go in 1 minute.
Yes.
We have a meeting though. Yeah.
All right, so this is it. These are the ones. This could be a nice background from Salazar. No, I'm just kidding. So Mercy from Overwatch. This is an insider joke. And poking fun of me for playing Overwatch. Everything's fine. And then Mr. Robot. So these are nice. Actually,
but keep it coming,
any
guys.
of these. Yeah, keep it coming, and let's see what we get.
POAP time?
Or yes, no POAP time. Wait a second. Anyways, it's gonna be fine. So big thanks everyone for joining us today. Hopefully this was a fun, like unstructured, laid back little community call for you. See you all next week, and you need to go to the usual place, which is I'm gonna put on screen, which is nim.com/go/POAP, and the secret phrase is drum roll. Drum roll. Watermelon. Yes. So I will make the AMA recording from yesterday listed, and I will post it in Telegram. So keep an eye there. And I also owe Rocio an answer to the free VPN subscriptions question. So I'll also get that for you, or maybe just ping Theo on Telegram, and he can answer. Big thanks for joining, everyone. Try Watermelon. Please let us know if it fixed your issues, especially with Android. We're really excited about this release. Thanks for joining me, Hux, on such short notice.
Thanks for hosting. Thanks for coming, guys. Have a fun week. Have a fun weekend. See you soon.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.